It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, and social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. How are you doing? I'm doing just great myself, and I am your host, Kevin McIntosh. Thank you so much for joining us today. We got a lot to cover, so let's get straight to it. Speaking of cover, the road was covered with an oily substance earlier this week, and we're giving you an update. That was on Tuesday morning. As of now, the roadway in both directions is now open for use. You can drive up and down Square Lake and Middle Belt Road in that intersection where that oily substance was spilled. Now, the West Bloomfield Police did want to thank the Road Commission of Oakland County, as well as West Bloomfield Fire Department and Lakeside Towing, I should say, all of them coming together to make the road clear and make sure it was safe, investigated, things of that nature. As a matter of fact, we did get a message from the Road Commission, who also said in a statement, a fabric-like bag or fabric-like bags have been placed near culverts to absorb oil runoff and help prevent the substance from reaching streams and lakes, end quote. So they're doing what they have to do to make sure that we don't have polluted rivers and lakes that we're used to, things of that nature. So we want to thank the West Bloomfield Police, Fire Department, as well as Lakeside Towing and the Road Commission of Oakland County also. If you do have any information, by the way, leading to possible more information that can help the police in this, please don't hesitate to reach out to them. Their phone number is 248-975-9200. Any and all information helps if you've seen anything or heard anything. And for more, you can also visit their Facebook page at West Bloomfield PD. Also, keeping things positive, speaking of cleanups, also, cleanup efforts were going on with the community as of recently, earlier this week, I should say, at the Recreation Activity Center. If you can see, Scotch Elementary School visited West Bloomfield Parks earlier, and they were learning about the environment, invasive species, sustainable practices, all the type of stuff that we all should pretty much know. And they're learning that in an early age, by the way. And they were also part of a group of volunteers who helped West Bloomfield Parks with pulling the garlic mustard from the area, which is a very common invasive species. I just learned today, by the way. So thank you for the kids and the students at Scotch Elementary and all the volunteers who put in their time and effort to help WB Parks and our community look a little bit better and get rid of that invasive species. You can check out some of those lovely photos that you're checking out here on Civic Center TV on their Facebook at WB Parks on Facebook also. Speaking of volunteers, you know we like to take our time to celebrate volunteers, and we're going to have an opportunity to do that formally this Friday, May 10th, 7 a.m., the Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast at Temple Israel. We are honoring volunteers, people, organizations in the community who have done such great work, helped us all out. We just showed just different examples of volunteers from the younger ages all the way to adults who've helped make the community great. This event in person has been sold out. So just want to let you know, but you can still be there virtually. Tune in with us, civiccentertv.com and 89.3. We will be broadcasting live on civiccentertv.com just to let you know the theme of this year's celebration. Volunteers make the world go round. And I think I would have to agree with that. And like we said, the purpose of it is just to recognize the individuals and organizations for their selfless service and contributions to the community. So I'm looking forward to checking out that event myself. And if you want to be a part of it virtually, at least you can also, like we said, check it out live, civiccentertv.com, 89.3 Lakes FM. You can just find out more about Michigan Week in general at michiganweek.org. Check out their website for more also. A special piece of history was recently found in West Bloomfield Township, and the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society teamed up with other historical organizations to mark a special place in our local history. The Splash Live's reporter, very own Jake Schaff, has a story.
You might not be able to tell at first glance, but right here at the end of Pine Estates Drive in West Bloomfield housed a historic camp from the Girls Friendly Society known as Holiday House. And this past Thursday, the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society honored Holiday House with a historical plaque and marker, teaching everyone around the area just how much history lies right outside their window.
It is part of the Motor Cities National Heritage Area. It's a sign that they call the Wayside Exhibits. They're throughout Southeast Michigan. They celebrate automotive history and automotive labor history. And this property that we're on today is a former camp that was largely supported by Henry and Clara Ford, which is what qualifies this sign that we're going to unveil today as being part of the Motor Cities area.
So it was a camp. It was for women who worked in Detroit, and it was run by the Girls Friendly Society. I'm wearing a pin from the group. The group first started in the 1890s or so in England, and then it morphed into the United States. The idea was to support women who were working, who needed a respite from the trials and tribulations of working far from home in a city, to support retail. And so that's what it was for, and it was deemed important to support women at that time. The project started a couple of years ago, and it's quite a process to go through. We submitted the application, Ron did, and then we got a grant for it. He collected his materials and then submitted them for graphic design and production, and then when the sign arrived, he had to get it in the ground, and so that's been done, and now we can celebrate that it's here and part of this program.
Why is it so important for people to honor historic places such as this, even when they're no longer here?
Well, it's important because the Motor Cities National Heritage Area commemorates all of our automotive history in Southeast Michigan, and it's part of that story. So it's another side of the story. It's a story that includes women, which is not that common in the story like Rosie the Riveter does. But that's another reason it's as important, because of the women's role.
We benefit by knowing our past and where we came from and what life was like then. And it informs us today as we move forward into the future. And, you know, we're not the first people who live here. I mean, we all know that in our head, but when you hear the stories of what was here before, I think that's really helpful to inform, give you a greater appreciation of where you live.
So much history to be learned and to be honored in our community, as you never know the kind of stories that are ready to be told and the kind of lessons that you can learn along the way. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Thank you again for that story, Jake. We love to hear about the history that's right here in our community, right here in our own backyard. I love to do a little bit of digging myself just to find out what life used to be way back when. So great information, great story on Holiday House. You can find out more on the Facebook at GWBHS, Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society's Facebook page, if you want to get some more information. Keeping things within the community, as you can see, once you get to talking a lot like I am, my throat gets to get a little bit parched. I need some water. And sometimes we don't think about just going to grab a simple glass of water from our tap water and whatnot, and what it takes for it to go through that and us actually get to a drinking point. So I'm proud to actually bring on here and celebrate and talk about National Drinking Water Week. We actually have joining the splash Water and Sewer Utilities Director for West Bloomfield Township, Justin Taylor, joining the splash. Thank you so much for joining us, Justin.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having me.
So we're talking about a very, very important issue, something that we all probably take for granted. Let me tell you first and foremost. So you're the man that's kind of behind everything and see how things are running. I want you to first and foremost tell us any misconceptions about our local drinking water that you may know of, heard of, that you want to debunk just first off.
Yeah, I guess a common misconception when it comes to our local drinking water here for West Bloomfield, we don't collect or draw raw water from within our borders. The water that we are delivering to all of our customers, that comes from the Lake Huron watershed. It is gathered and treated by Great Lakes Water Authority, and then delivered to our master vaults, where it then enters our distribution system. There's like 88 other community, cities, villages, townships in Southeast Michigan that we all receive our water from that Lake Huron watershed, or excuse me, through Great Lakes Water Authority. Once it gets here, it has been treated. It's tested at the plant level. It's tested in their distribution system. We run tests here in our distribution system, so that when you turn on your faucet in the home, you're getting safe drinking water.
Correct. Even the water faucet, the water hose outside your home, things of that nature. So just to clarify, we aren't drinking water from Orchard Lake and Sylvan Lake. We're coming from the Great Lakes, which is being regulated by the Great Lakes Water Authority, like you said, and then coming to us being filtered, clean, and ready for consumption. Correct.
Correct. Yes,
Just
sir.
want to make sure. Okay, great. So we just recently discussed a situation with an oily substance being on the road, Square Lake and Middle Belt Road here in the community. And we just learned that there were some fabric-like bags placed on these culverts to try to prevent runoff going into our waters, our streams, our lakes. Now, even though we may not be drinking that water, can you just talk about what residents in general can do to kind of keep our drinking water safe, if there's anything we can do?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the biggest and easiest ways to help keep drinking water safe is for all of the businesses and homes in West Bloomfield Township to gain and remain in compliance with the Cross Connection Control Program. This is a state mandated program that requires all hose bibs on the outside of a house to have a anti-frost hose bib vacuum breaker. If a home has an irrigation system that is connected to city water, there's a vacuum breaker on that as well. And this fairly new state program requires at a residential level that device be tested once a year. Now, what these do is they prevent back siphonage. So you had mentioned that oily substance found on the road there. Had that gone into a yard and sat on a sprinkler head or something, and that system comes on, and then there's a drop in pressure in the water system, the conditions exist where that could be drawn back into your home through back siphonage or back flow, and these devices prevent that from happening. So it stops water of questionable or dangerous quality from re-entering the water system, the drinking water system.
That is great perspective. Thank you for providing that, Justin. And that's a great example. So that has me further thinking about the things that we may do at our homes that we may think has no effect on our water, right? Maybe go outside, pour out some type of liquid, some old oil, grease, or whatever the case may be. And that can also potentially have an effect on our drinking water. Is that what you're saying?
It can. Yeah, like we mentioned, we're not drawing the water from here, but we have 18,000 plus water accounts in the township.
Right.
Having said that, there are still many homes that are on a private well system. If you were to dump, chemicals or paint, stains, anything like that, oily substance, that can get down into the groundwater system and then be drawn into those wells. And, anybody on a well, that's now in the aquifer where they're drawing their drinking water from. On a larger level, regional level, same kind of idea that could make its way into the Great Lakes system through streams, rivers, and then it gets into what we are now drawing for, or Great Lakes Water Authority is now drawing to treat and deliver to us as safe drinking water.
See, that's why we say, even though it's on your own property, you could still affect other people. So it may not directly affect you, but just be considerate. Just keep that stuff in mind. We're talking right now with Justin Taylor, Water and Sewer Utilities Director for West Bloomfield Township, talking a little bit about National Drinking Water Week is full effect. Also, about a few other things going on. I'm just seeing right here, Oakland County and United Way of Southeastern Michigan launched a new water affordability program. Can you tell us a little bit more about this program? Do you have any information regarding this?
Yeah. So as you said, Oakland County Water Resource Commissioner Jim Nash and the United Way of Southeast Michigan have teamed up and created a hardship assistance program. This is for homeowners, which include those within West Bloomfield, that may not reach the minimum threshold required to get into a federal assistance program. So this is a local program here, and that can help homeowners pay past dues, which in turn stops a past due from maybe rolling to their taxes, and further down the line creating could possibly create a foreclosure issue.
Yep.
It helps that you can have your current water sewer bill paid for up to 3 months. You can also use it for assistance in having some costly plumbing repairs made, which in turn then will stop, if you got a pesky leak or a toilet valve that's not holding, you got water going from the tank to the bowl, and that water's all going through your meter, creating a large bill. You could get things repaired, and it will stop future large bills from happening.
Yeah. You know what? That just has me thinking about another thing. Random question right now. Are there any common appliances or things of that nature that your department usually hears about from homes usually having a leak in water that usually costs them a high water bill? Maybe other people, maybe like a running toilet people aren't aware of, or a leaking outside water hose, anything of that nature that's common to your department?
Absolutely, Kevin. Yeah, the big three, the toilet, there's a flapper valve in the bottom of that tank. When you hit the handle, that opens, allows water to rush from the tank to the bowl. It carries the waste away. If that is leaking, that's one of the major ones we see. Another is a sprinkler, an irrigation system that's got a leak underground. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind. Water's gonna take the path of least resistance. It may not be coming to the surface. And a big culprit for high water bill, if you've got a water activated backup sump pump, your home loses power. This system is designed to then take water from your drain tiles that are collected into a sump pit and get that out of the home so you don't flood. It works. It saves your home from being flooded. It's awesome. You just want to make sure when you get power back, that system turns off, because that is using fresh, potable water to run that system. And as soon as you got power back, you want that electric one taken back over.
Exactly. All key things that we need to keep aware of. We may just run past the bathroom and hear the toilet running and think it's nothing, but let that water bill hit you that next month. You'll realize you need to make some type of change. Thank you again, Justin. One last thing, any additional information? How can people keep up with key information regarding local West Bloomfield community water and what we can do to kind of keep our drinking water safe? What resources can we look forward to kind of get that information?
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. If you go to the township website, there is a whole section on your local water and sewer department. A lot of good information in there. We are soon to be, not yet, but we are going to have a Facebook page for the department, and we're going to post all kinds of good information on there as well. And anytime, reach out to us. You can, on the main page of the website for West Bloomfield Township, there's an Ask Water link. You got a question for us, you could type it in there, or call us anytime. We're here to help, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Somebody is working at all times here at the water department.
And thank you for clarifying that, because as long as we need water running, we need somebody to run the water. So thank you again,
Right.
Justin Taylor, Water and Sewer Utilities Director for West Bloomfield Township. Justin Taylor, thank you again for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Very exciting conversation to have. See, that's the type of thing we don't think about. Water. Trust me, my mouth, lips are parched right now just from talking, and I need water. So I don't want us to take advantage. You want to find out more about what they have going on with the local water, go to wbtownship.org. You want to find out more about the Water Hardship Assistance Program, go to oakgov.com or visit Facebook at Water Resources OC also. They'll have more information for you right there. We want to keep things related to volunteering and everyone putting in their work to help things go right in the community. So here's an opportunity for you to be a volunteer. Specifically in the Sylvan Lake area, we are looking for volunteers for a tree planting event. Very exciting. Have you ever planted a tree before? Let's start there, okay? If not, I brought somebody on the Splash Live to talk about it and give us a little bit more excitement. Joining us right now, Executive Director from Relief, Michigan, Melinda Jones, joining us talking about tree planting event in Sylvan Lake. Thank you for joining us, Melinda.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We have a very unique event going on. How many people can say they planted a tree in their life, right? Relief, Michigan tree planting event, Saturday, May 11th, Sylvan Lake, in collaboration with the City of Sylvan Lake, DTE Energy Foundation. What can you tell us about this event? First, let's just start with the importance of planting trees. Let's start there.
Well, trees are incredibly important. They're definitely problem solvers. They decrease the temperature, they absorb stormwater, they adjust mental health, they help reduce ADD, they increase economic vitality. The list goes on and on and on. It's the only part of a city's infrastructure that does not depreciate over time.
Oh, good point right there. Good point right there. And I don't think too many of us necessarily look at trees like that. That's
Right.
another one of those things. Like, we just got done talking about a subject that people probably take for granted. Like, we don't necessarily look at our water as such a valuable resource. And same thing with trees, such a valuable resource that we should all necessarily like learn a little bit more about, take advantage, plant more of. So let's get into the actual event itself. What's the motivation behind the event? How did it come together? And just talk about, just more details.
Okay. Well, first of all, the DTE Foundation very generously donates money for 15 tree plantings per year throughout their service territory. So, City of Sylvan Lake, John Martin applied, and we decided to work with the city we have before. They have great enthusiasm and respect for their trees. They presently have about a 43% tree canopy, and their goal is to have a 50% tree canopy. We are an educational nonprofit. And so one of the things about what we do is that, first of all, we plant larger trees. The trees are like 5 to 8 feet tall. We don't do seedlings. And the whole purpose of using volunteers to plant trees on public property is so that they learn the proper way to plant the tree from beginning to end, the size of the hole, right tree, right place, any maintenance type things. So they have a hands-on experience. And when they're done, they go, that wasn't so bad. We had a great time. I think I'll go to my local nursery and buy a tree and plant it on my own private property, thus increasing the overall tree canopy.
See, I love the way that works right there. Yeah, if you're going to do it on public property, yeah, you want to make sure that you do it right. That way you can always drive past it and see that, hey, I planted that tree 10, 20, 30 years from now, whatever the case may be. And then you bring up a good point about DTE, kind of giving back to the community in that way. Because, think about it, especially during storms. We lose a lot of trees. They fall on power lines. DTEs, they come out, they chop down the tree, get rid of it, fix the power lines, etc. So for them to actually go out and take the time to restore those areas where we lose those trees, that's a very nice gesture, by the way. So great information and great gesture from them, by the way. Joining us right now on the Splash Live, Executive Director for Relief, Michigan, Melinda Jones, talking about volunteers needed for the tree planting event in Sylvan Lake, May 11, which is a Saturday. So let's get to the volunteer portion of it. We need volunteers. Any specifications, anything that the volunteers need to know if they are listening right now and they are interested? Should they bring anything? Are there certain age requirements? Please give the details.
Okay, well, first of all, they need to arrive on location at 8:45 in the morning to sign in, and that location is 2460 Garland Street. And we'll give you the RSVP links so people know exactly where to go. There is no age requirement. It's very family friendly. We just ask that children be accompanied by an adult. And if you have a hammer and a hard rake, not one of those leaf rakes, but the ones with metal, bring those along. Wear closed-toed shoes, no sandals, and that we plant rain or shine, so come prepared for the weather. You show up at 8:45 for some light refreshments. At 9 o'clock, we get started with a few opening words, an in-depth planning demo. Then we break into groups and we plant the trees. And with 20 trees to be planted, we're usually done by 11:30, no later than 12 o'clock.
It's not bad at all. That's
Yeah.
not bad at all. Yeah, get out there, spend a little bit of time early in the morning, and just make a difference in the community. Essentially, yeah. I mean, like we said, I consider it creating a legacy, because you're creating something that's going to be there for a very long time, and that's essentially what a legacy is. Something that
Right.
you can say is yours or you contributed to, and it's there for a long time, way beyond our lifetime in most cases. So, as executive director, from your perspective, what are your goals, objectives, or your hopes for events like this that you kind of participate in and host?
Well, first of all, that people not only learn the right way to do things, that they feel comfortable asking any kind of question about any type of tree. Everybody that works with Relief Michigan is a degreed forester, an arborist. We've been around since 1988, and we have hundreds of years of experience. So, whatever you want to ask, that's great. But most importantly, we want to have fun. We want people to look at actually getting out there and getting dirty is fun. But to help in that area, all of the holes are pre-dug. So
Oh,
basically, that's half the battle.
oh yeah.
So the holes are pre-dug, and so then we go from rolling the tree in, since that sort of thing. We've been around since 1988. We've got 677 communities under our belt. We've got thousands upon thousands upon thousands, and you're absolutely right about leaving a legacy. We still get pictures from people who were part of some of our very first plantings
Yeah.
that they take ownership, and it's
Yep.
great.
Yeah, you raised him like his kid. I raised this tree since he was a little high. You know what I'm saying? That's hilarious. So, okay, so one question that just popped in my head, and I have to ask you before we go. Relief Michigan, the entire state. We're talking about
Right.
specifically in Sylvan Lake. Why Sylvan Lake? Why is it important? Why Sylvan Lake?
Because we like to work with communities that truly have a commitment, not only to planting the trees, but to maintain them. They actually signed a 3-year maintenance agreement, which means that they'll be watered, mulch applied for 3 years to show that they want their trees to thrive. And we show up a year later, take a look at those trees to make sure that they are indeed doing well and answer any questions. And John Martin from the city of Sylvan Lake, Barbash. There's a lot of enthusiastic people in Sylvan Lake, so it's always a pleasure to work with them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Joining us again, Executive Director from Relief, Melinda Jones, on the Splash Live, talking about their volunteers needed for their upcoming tree planting event in Sylvan Lake, May 11th, 8:45. Please be there. Thank you again for your time, Melinda. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And if you want to find out more information about it, a great event, great time to contribute to the community, go to the website reliefmichigan.org. That's spelled RELEAF Michigan.org. And of course, you can visit their Facebook page at Relief MI just to check out more on their social media page also. When we're keeping things about plants, trees, flowers, maybe even fruits, vegetables. They're plants also, right? We're talking about resources that we can all find at our local farmers market, right? And Oakland County Farmers Market is officially opening for business in the springtime and the summertime, and we got so much to celebrate and talk about. Joining the Splash Live right now to give us those details, we have Market Manager for Oakland County Farmers Market, Brad Wethy, joining the Splash. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
We appreciate you, Brad, for being here. I'm a big fan of farmers markets, man. Natural plants from local vendors and fruits and vegetables that you get as organic as they can pretty much come, rather than from a grocery store. Just tell us a little bit more about our local Oakland County Farmers Market and the new season opening up.
Oh man, there's a lot to talk about the market here. Real quick, we've been at our location here for 60 plus years, but the market's actually been in operation for over 100 years now.
Ooh.
Came from downtown Pontiac. It's now currently in Waterford. This time of year, as you were mentioning, you can find everything from flowers, produce, meats, baked goods, a number of different things. Just this week, I've got about 45 vendors who will be here on Saturday, so plenty of good things to pick from.
Oh my goodness, 45 vendors. So I know we got to be talking about, like you said, flowers, fruits, vegetables, anything. Let's just start there. Flowers, fruits, and vegetables. Obviously, I mentioned that a few times. That's all I'm thinking. Anything beyond that we can expect from local vendors?
Absolutely. So our amounts of baked goods here, we have a number of baked good vendors. We're starting to offer some services such as knife sharpening. We've got hot prepared food here on site. We've got eggs, honey, syrup. The list goes on and on.
Oh my goodness, that sounds like the place to be. Nice open doors, good weather. Oh, we get good weather too with great food. Why would we deny that? Plus, we got a lot going on up there. You also contribute to healthy lifestyles. How do you feel like the Oakland County Farmers Market actually actively contributes to promoting healthy lifestyles within the community?
Certainly. So one thing that we pride ourselves on here at the market is we're producer-based, meaning what you're able to buy here at our market is grown, harvested, raised by the farmers here selling that product. So it's not getting passed through multiple facilities. It's not traveling around the world. So much of it is grown locally right here, even in Oakland County, as well as our surrounding counties.
Yep.
The nice thing is if you have any questions on how to prepare the foods, how to eat the foods, all of those farmers are right here on site to answer those questions as well. So it's about as fresh as it can get.
And you're hearing it right from the person that grew it. I'm telling you, man, farm to table, it doesn't get any better than farmers market. I always like to promote that. So I want to kind of go back, if you don't mind, backtrack, because I know there's some people listening who probably heard about 45 vendors and they're doing more than just this and that. What else, like, for the people who are interested in being a vendor at the Oakland County Farmers Market, what is that process like?
Absolutely. So we actually accept vendor applications throughout the year. You can find it via our website at the OakGov website.
Okay.
Otherwise, we also have paper copies here right at the market. Myself and I've got 3 or 4 other staff members as well. So if anyone's interested in becoming a vendor, feel free to anytime stop by the market, pick our brains, ask any questions. We're here to help. We're also trying to grow our market, so we're actively always looking for more and more vendors.
Rightfully so. Helping local businesses, local people, local entrepreneurs, people who want to get their start and just get some of their products out just to, so the community can support that. I completely understand. Joining us right now on the Splash Live, Oakland County Farmers Market Market Manager Brad Wethy, joining us to talk about a little bit more about the farmers market and things that they have going on up there at the farmers market. So just to get an overall scope of the farmers market, I just kind of want to see what the perspective is about the farmers market. What would you say the mission of your establishment is? We know obviously we're bringing together local vendors and things of that nature within the community, but can you explain it from your perspective, the absolute mission of the farmers market?
I would say our biggest mission here at the market, and I would imagine my vendors would back me up on this, is really trying to make sure that, you know, our guests, whether they're from local or from afar, get a healthy, a safe option to eat, beautiful things to bring home, beautiful gifts to give to others, tasty, delicious food to eat. We strive to better our local community, not only with our vendors here, but we offer a number of different food assistance programs. We do Gleaners Food Distribution Days here. So we really try to help the community in a number of different aspects and different ways.
Nice, nice, nice. And it's to my understanding, I want you to correct me if I'm wrong, there's other different events that go on at the farmers market. We're not just talking about buying and selling things. If I'm not mistaken, we're talking about yoga. Am I saying this right? Tai Chi?
Yep.
We're doing all of that. Come on, let's talk about it, Brad. What's going on?
So we've got yoga going on here. We've got Tai Chi. I've got my whole list in front of me here. We've got our flower days coming up, so flower specific days. We do master gardening programs here. We do 2 garage sales throughout the year, 2 art shows, a shredding event. We do a moonlight market for the afternoon, evening folks who can't make it during our normal hours.
Right.
We do a corn roast later in the year. The list goes on.
Oh, man. So it just seems like the place to be. So many things going on. We're not just talking about fruits, vegetables, and plants. We obviously went beyond that. We went to baked goods and pastries. We went to Tai Chi, yoga, things of that nature. But we also want to keep things in perspective also. Not everything is available all the time. Where I should say, it's not a 24/7 type of operation. Can you just give a little bit of information to the specific hours of operation that we have set for the spring and or summer seasons coming up?
Yeah, it's a little bit unique compared to most markets. We do operate year round. January through April, we are here on just Saturdays from 7 a.m. until 1:30 p.m.
Okay.
But starting in May, so just this last week, we've now gone back to our Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedules, and we do that all the way through December, here from 7 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. on all 3 of those days.
Nice. So specific hours, specific days that you want to kind of get into when it comes to the Oakland County Farmers Market, but a lot of activities, a lot of different things going on, and you want to learn how to be a vendor, make sure you check out their website also. Any last words before we let you go you want to let the community know about, Brad?
Absolutely. Next biggest thing coming up is we all know Mother's Day is coming up. So if you're looking to buy mom some flowers, please swing on by. We have a large variety of them. Otherwise, stay tuned on our social media. I do weekly videos about what you can find here, as well as check out our website for all our special events coming up. We're adding a couple new things this year.
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that. Mother's Day. Don't go to Kroger. Don't go to Meijer. Support our local vendors and our local Oakland County Farmers Market. Thank you again, Market Manager for the Oakland County Farmers Market, Brad Weathy. Thank you again. We appreciate your time for joining us on The Splash.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Absolutely. You too, sir. Absolutely. A lot of great information, a lot of great resources. If you are looking for those flowers for mom, your girlfriend, your spouse, the kids, and just food, a good place to go with a great environment, make sure you check out the Oakland County Farmers Market. For more, go to oakgov.com, or you can visit their Facebook at Oakland County Farmers Market on Facebook also. Of course, you know, we have plenty more to talk about and to get into, and we got a lot of information to spread to you, so I want you to stay right here because we are live, local, and social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Kego Harbor, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. Live, local, and social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Join our team as we highlight people and events that are making an impact in the greater West Bloomfield area. Catch us live Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Watch us on demand at civiccentertv.com. Or watch us on TV at Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T at Channel 99. Missed one of our live broadcasts or one of your local municipal meetings? Check it out online at civiccentertv.com. Every meeting, show, and interview on demand. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, and social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining me. I am your host, Kevin McIntosh. Thank you again. Now, we got a lot to talk about per usual, and the weather is a little inconsistent, but once it gets consistent, we know it will be the summertime. With the summertime, a lot of people outside, including being on the water, on the lakes, and the boats specifically. We want to talk about boating safety. We want to be proactive so that we don't have to be reactive. So joining the Splash Live right now to talk a little bit more about boating safety here in West Bloomfield community and Oakland County in general, we have Lieutenant Brian Burwell of Specialized Units Patrol Services Division for Oakland County, or Oakland Sheriff's Office, excuse me. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you. How are you today?
Doing great myself. Thank you so much for joining us with your time, your education, because we're talking about a very important issue. We're talking about heavy machinery, people operating them on our waters, and actually we've already had some incidents recently. Just to give a little bit more perspective, can you just talk briefly about those recent incidents just to put it in perspective?
Sheriff's Office has 2 recent boating accidents that occurred on Orchard Lake. No fatalities, no injuries.
Good.
But, anytime the weather's warming up and people are taking boats out, boater safety, it starts right at the dock, we tell people. And, even before you leave your driveway, if you're towing a boat with, checking your boat trailer and making sure you're ready to be on the road. And, we always encourage people to take a boater safety class. We offer those free here at the Sheriff's Office. And that's a free service that we offer, a couple classes a month. So, if you're going to venture out on the water, especially this time of year, this is the perfect time before you go out on the water.
Correct.
to take a time and open up those cabinets on the boat and make sure you have your rescue gear with you, your life jackets, and the proper equipment before even going on the water.
Absolutely. Just like we said, make sure you're being proactive before you're being reactive, making sure you're checking all those boxes, dotting your I's, crossing your T's before we even take the boat off our property. Exactly. One thing that you just informed me of that I'm not sure if the community is aware of, that you all offer boater safety classes that are free, correct? Can you talk a little bit more about those classes? What type of information is being shared in those?
Absolutely. If you're going to go out on the water, you need to know the rules. The laws that exist are designed to keep you safe. And one of the things that the Sheriff's Office offers is the free service. You can go to the DNR website to register for those classes. Our Sheriff's Office, currently, I think we do more classes than anyone in the state with boater safety, hunting education. The Oakland County Sheriff's Office offers those services right here at our search and rescue building. And we do about 2 to 3 classes a month in various topics. And it's a great family event. You can come on out and get certified in boater safety to understand what those rules on lakes are. And, they focus on a lot of good safety information. We do tell people, life jackets are a lot like your seatbelts. They don't work if you don't wear them. So it's important to have those life jackets with you and understand, some of the safety things that go into before you venture out on the water.
Of course. Hey. So, of course, Lieutenant. They don't want to wear the life jackets. They're not cool. We're out there on the boat. We're trying to have a good time. We don't want to wear those. It's cramping our style. I want to show off my outfit, my bikini. But like Lieutenant Burwell just said, please wear it. It's safety. That's what we're here for. We want to make sure that everyone is safe at the end of the day. We want to have a good time too. And we're dealing with boats, something that's different from cars on the road. Now it's a little bit a different type of space and atmosphere, but nonetheless, I feel like we need to be even more careful because we're involving water also. But getting back to boater safety real quick, Lieutenant Burwell, are there any common misconceptions about boater safety and or any common incidents that you have encountered in your career that people seem to commonly or consistently kind of come across?
Well, one thing we always remind people is that, life jackets float, you don't. So I know some people don't like wearing the life jackets. So you said that,
Right.
for various reasons, but, having those life jackets on are, important, especially if you find yourself in the water when you weren't expecting it. One of the common things we do see on the lake is something as simple as running out of fuel on the boat. People on the water and next thing you know, they don't have enough fuel to get in. Certainly, cell phones are always an issue or other electronic devices. People get out on the water and they're distracted very easily. With boating accidents, Oakland County's got a tremendous amount of waterway from our parks, rivers, and streams. It's a great time of the year to get out here and enjoy it. And the Sheriff's Office just wants to remind people that we want you to be safe out there, and we offer those services. We do have our Marine patrols out there. The Sheriff's Office maintains a 24/7 response for any rescues on the water. We're also part of the Southeast Michigan Dive Group, which we coordinate. So, but we always want people safe out there, and we try to educate the public as we go along. But a lot of stuff just starts right at the dock, putting the boat into the water where people are injured at that dock, just trying to put their boat in because maybe they're not familiar with the launching or things of that nature.
Right. No. And I love that you kind of painted that picture and gave a little bit more perspective regarding that too, because I don't want people to necessarily just take that for granted, the whole life jacket thing, or being distracted by a cell phone too. Like you would think that only applies to being driving on the road, but it goes to being on the water also. But just to reset the show, join the Splash Live right now, Lieutenant Brian Burwell, Specialized Units Patrol Service Division for the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. Join us to talk about boating safety, recent boating incidents that have happened, and how we can all be proactive and make sure we can prevent those accidents from happening in the first place. So essentially, Lieutenant, if you don't mind, are there any rules, local ordinances, laws that people should be aware of before they take off on these boats or anything like that also?
Well, and there's a few things too that go hand in hand, and it's something as simple as the little things people miss, like checking the weather before they go out in the water. And the two recent accidents we had in Orchard Lake involved sailboats with poor weather conditions that people ventured out into. So checking the weather before you hit the water is something that's very important. The other thing is understanding that you do need a boater safety card if you're operating a PWC. Same thing with operating a boat, so you want to take that boater safety class to educate yourself. But the other thing is as simple as leaving a float plan before you leave your house. If your family doesn't know where you're going, what lake you're on, and you don't return, so leaving what they call a float plan, saying, hey, I'm going to head out to Orchard Lake. We're going to park at the Orchard Lake boat launch. We should be on the water by 9 a.m. We're planning on coming off by 5 p.m.
Good point.
If that person doesn't return home,
Good point.
you have some information to provide to law enforcement to help locate them.
Yep. No, that's a solid point too. Yeah, let someone know where you are, what time you plan on coming back. Because that way, if someone is keeping track and notice that they haven't heard from you,
Absolutely.
You can have lost cell phone signal out in the water or whatever, dropped your cell phone, whatever the case may be. That was a solid point. Thank you for bringing that up also, Lieutenant. So when we're dealing with water and we're dealing with, let's just say, 4th of July, Memorial Day weekend, those are very busy times, right? So we can probably expect a lot of people on these waters at the same time. Any advice for boaters, maybe first-time boaters or just boaters in general, when it comes to being on the water with crowded, with a lot of boats occupying at that time?
Well, we always tell people, and we one of the things to remember is as a boater, as an owner of a boat or as an operator of a boat, if you're taking people out, you have a responsibility to get them back in safely. Certainly people are consuming alcohol on the water, understanding that alcohol is going to have a greater effect on you on the water. The elements are on you, the sun, the wind. The boat is moving. So sometimes when people are on a lake, they consume a little more because they're dehydrated and they don't always realize that the alcohol is affecting them more.
Yeah.
And when you're out there on a holiday weekend, and obviously the 4th of July is extremely busy on the lakes, and people are enjoying themselves. But just understanding that alcohol is going to have a greater effect on you when you are on the water, when the sun's beating down on you, and remembering you have to get back in safely. And the other thing too that people sometimes forget around the holiday season is the lakes are crowded. And again, if you don't know the rules of the water and you're just out there, one of the things we see in our county that is a problem is with rental boats. If you're going to rent a boat, make sure you're going to a licensed livery that's been inspected by the sheriff's office. A lot of times people go online, they rent a boat from a private party. It's not a registered boat that's licensed by the state to be rented. Those boats that are licensed are inspected by the sheriff's office for safety. And the year before last, I think we took 7 boats out of service in our county that were unsafe. We closed down 6 illegal liveries that were operating without safety to the public. Several of these crafts were not water-worthy, seaworthy to be out there. So those are things that the public should just take in mind when renting boats and things like that.
Oh, no, you were spot on with that. I would just imagine not everyone who's out there on a boat owns that boat. So I would imagine there's a certain significant portion who are renting boats and could possibly be a little bit more careless with them also, with that being said. So great key points right there. That's pretty much everything I have. Any other information for the community regarding that we may have not discussed, or just people want to get information from you or anything like that you want to give out, please, Lieutenant?
Yeah, the one thing we want to make sure people know is that the sheriff's office is available 24/7 for questions, things of that nature. We always are willing to come out to an association, talk about boat safety, but when our deputies are out on the water, we love interacting with the public. If the public has a question for us, please stop one of the deputies. We absolutely love having positive interactions with people. And if you got a question, you don't know something, you're unsure of something, or even at the boat launch, we have some of our officers there. If it's your first time launching a boat and you're not sure on something, we're always approachable, and we want to be there to make sure you have a safe summer.
Absolutely. Hey, you hit it right on the nail. Thank you so much for opening up, letting people know that you are a resource. They can come and see you if they need to. Make sure they are being proactive instead of reactive. Thank you again, Lieutenant Brian Burwell, Specialized Units Patrol Services Division for the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. We appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we love getting that type of information out to our residents, our community, because this is very important. If you plan on even being on a boat, whether you're driving it or not, make sure you are informed about this information. So pass that forward also. You want to get more information, make sure you visit the website of the Oakland County Sheriff's Office at oaklandsheriff.com. And of course, you can go to their Facebook if it's a little bit more convenient for you, OCSO Michigan on Facebook also. So we have so much more to keep you updated with, but I want you to stay right there. I am your host, Kevin McIntosh. We are live, local, and social on the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
One scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
When the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
I'm relying on luck, but who knows if it'll be on my side.
When it comes to disasters and emergencies, it's not a matter of if, but when. Take control. 1. Assess your needs. 2. Make a plan. 3. Engage your support network. Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell.
Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to the Splash Live.
That's right, live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. How you doing yourself? I'm doing great myself. I am your host, Kevin McIntosh. Thank you for asking, by the way. People rarely ask. Hey, by the way, since we are moving into the outside doors and taking care of our lawn and things like that, West Bloomfield Parks is encouraging you, me, everyone in the community to live green and support our local native plant life. And it's part of their Green Dream initiative and program. It's posted on their Facebook page. You can check it out, WB Parks. And they have a quote there, if you don't mind me sharing. Native plants are imperative to our ecosystem as they support native pollinators, filter stormwater to decrease pollution, help create habitats, and more, end quote. See, I just learned that today, but I sound very smart. Overall, what it's basically saying is these native plants, we need to plant those. We need to make sure that we don't destroy those because they are doing their part when it comes to making sure everything is running in the ecosystem. So they're also actually having a native plant sale, by the way, and that will be Sunday, May 12th. And you can go there, buy you some native plants, put those in your yard also, and just help beautify and keep things going. You can find out more on their website, wbparks.org. You can even learn more on their Facebook, of course, WB Parks on their Facebook. There will be a community celebration of a historic legacy that will take place next Friday. The West Bloomfield School District is hosting and honoring Roosevelt Elementary. It'll be students, staff, just honoring and celebrating people and programs that made this Roosevelt School such an important part of our community. Trust me, I understand, I get it. A building that has a lot of memories. Elementary school, we do a lot. We try to discover ourselves away from our parents. You probably got your first girlfriend, boyfriend, first kiss. Oops, don't tell nobody. But things like that, I completely understand being in this building. But we just want to celebrate Roosevelt Elementary. As a matter of fact, there will be a memory book that will be compiled, stories, photos, memories throughout the year. So you can learn more about that and what's going on their Facebook, West Bloomfield Schools on Facebook, to find out everything that's going on with that. If you want to stay active, you want a reason to get out, do some shopping, meet the neighbors and people in the community as we are breaking through the weather, I got a good reason for you right here. Going on in the backyard of Kego Harbor, we have the citywide garage sale that is on its way. As a matter of fact, it's going on Memorial Day weekend, Thursday through Sunday. I think that's Thursday, May 23rd. Through Sunday, May 26th, if I'm not mistaken. That is it. And it's leading up to Memorial Day, obviously, and you want to be part of this event, make sure you reach out to the city and find out what it takes to actually be a vendor, if you can still get your opportunity to actually participate in selling some of your events in the garage sale in Kego Harbor. You can keep up to date on everything with that on their Facebook page at KH Parks, or go to their website, kegoharbor.org. Right within the same community, right next door, Sylvan Lake is also hosting their garage sale. Kill two birds with one stone, go to one, find some things, sell some things, go to the next one. They're pretty much running simultaneously Thursday, May 23rd through Saturday, May 25th. That's the difference. This one in Sylvan Lake is a day shorter, so please keep that in mind. But it will be citywide, so if you also, like we said, want to register, want to participate, you can find out more on the city's website, sylvanlake.org. Great opportunity, like we said, for you to get out into the community, meet the people in your backyard, see some smiling faces, maybe even make a couple dollars or so. So check that out also if you are interested in the garage sale. For more things going on, if you want to stay active and find another reason to get outside and maybe get a good exercise in, we should say, the Michigan Airline Trail is partnering with West Bloomfield Parks and the Clinton River Trail for a 25-mile long road trip. My goodness. For those who are in shape, I applaud you. You are a better person than I am. It's going on National Trails Day, by the way, which is Saturday, June 1st. It begins at the drafting table in Wixom, goes all the way to the Sylvan table in Sylvan Lake, and then back. So I think that's like that straight roadway is like 12 and a half miles. So full trip, like we said, 25 miles. Whoa. I will see the pictures on Facebook, and I applaud everyone who will be going out there. But hopefully it will be a nice day, great weather also, so you can check out more information on that on social media, Facebook per usual at MI Airline Trail, if you want to find out a little bit more about that also. Trail is being used for biking and recreation today, but the WB Trail is used to be for travel. Excuse me. Picture from the history of Michigan on Facebook. If you can see right here on civiccenter.com, it shows a cart from the interurban trolleyway way back in the day. Great historic piece right here. Travelers would take this from Detroit up to what was the country, and now it is the suburbs of Metro Detroit. A great place. It used to make a few stops where I'm seeing Orchard Lake, Pine Lake, Cass Lake, Sylvan Lake. Great public transportation. Very, very interesting, by the way. I would be interested to see something like that come to life nowadays. But you can find out a little bit more about that trolley and the interurban system, I should say. Go to their Facebook, Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. Just go to their Facebook at GWBHS, or of course you can go directly to the source on their website, gwbhs.org. We have so much more in store for you. So we want to thank you so much for watching on AT&T Channel 99, Comcast Channel 15, Facebook, of course, Civic Center TV 15, and YouTube Civic Center TV. I want to thank our entire staff, our producers in the back. I am your host, Kevin McIntosh. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are live, we are local, we are social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.